guys, hi, how are you? Welcome back to Timeless Travels, and today I'm gonna scratch off my little map that I have here. This map was gifted to me by one of my really good friends. So thank you Allah. I stumbled upon a couple of videos that do scratch off maps here on YouTube, so I'll link them down below, and I was like, wow, that's actually a really good idea. As you can see, I already scratched off a lot of countries, but there's still some that I haven't scratched off, so I was like, since this is a new channel, then this could be kind of like an introduction. You guys can get to know where I traveled and for what reason. So if you guys are interested in seeing all the countries I've been to, then keep on watching. I know she got it from Amazon. I'm gonna ask her for the link and I'll paste it down below. And by the way, I'm only gonna include countries that are outside of the US, except for Hawaii. That's the only destination that I include here because this video can be so long. I will not include any layovers because I've had a lot of layovers. The country that I was born in is Morocco. I was born on August 23, 1991 in Casablanca. I remember growing up throughout the summers, my parents would always take us on trips, so my love for travel started early. At the age of 10, my family moved to Massachusetts. I know I'm scratching off Colorado because I already scratched off Massachusetts, but I realized I forgot to scratch off Colorado and I've been there before. So let's just pretend. Growing up in Massachusetts, every other summer we would spend it in Canada, Montreal, because we had family there. One year, me and my mom traveled to the Middle East for the first time. I know what you're thinking, aren't you Middle Eastern? No, this is a big misconception. A lot of people think that Moroccans are Middle East. Morocco is actually right here. It is in north of Africa, and the Middle East is all the way right here. We flew from New York City to Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It's so tiny on this map that you can barely see it. I was there at the celebration for the opening of the tallest building in the world, Burj Khalifa. And I remember there was like traffic everywhere and the most amazing fireworks I've ever seen in my life. And we were there, by the way, visiting family as well, and we got to travel to Oman. Oman is right next to Dubai. It is a wonderful country. I love the people there. They're so nice, so accommodating. We traveled from Dubai to Oman. It was like two hour drive. We did a boat tour and it was so amazing. I didn't even know Oman was that beautiful. There was dolphins. Like the boat would just stop and there was dolphins, and then we got to snorkel. I studied civil and environmental engineering, and I was in engineering group, and this engineering group was part of a program where they got to go to Ghana, and we were working on a project where we helped build a school in one of the villages, Ghana, and that was my very first trip to West Africa, and that was also the very first time I got the travel bug. And we spent 3 weeks in beautiful Ghana. Oh my god, I cannot wait to go back. If you guys have ever been wanting to go to Africa and don't know where to start, and if you're looking for something more traditional, something more cultural, colorful, the food is amazing, the dancing, the people are so good, then go to Ghana. And then my senior year of college, it was my very first solo trip, which is right here, Hawaii. If you haven't seen the video, I posted my very first video telling you guys that funny story on how I ended up on my very first solo trip by myself by accident. It turned out to be a blessing in disguise, so I'm gonna link the video somewhere here if you guys want to watch it after this video, of course. And then I was doing a research study in my university, and in the study we were working with blind or visually impaired children in Qatar, or Qatar as Americans like to say. The research professor that I was working with actually chose me to go to Qatar, to meet up with the school and the children, do a tour, and so they sponsored that whole trip, and it was amazing. And that was my first time in Qatar, and actually I don't think I scratched off Qatar because it's so tiny. Now I'm gonna try to use this thing that it came with. I have not used it yet. I don't know if that'll help. It doesn't look like it's helping. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. Let me see this side. Oh, I had it backwards. Like this tiny little dot. After I graduated, and this is when the real travels started, and especially the last 2 years, After I graduated, me and my father went to Spain. It was only for a 2-day trip, but we were going to Morocco, and since Spain is literally a 45-minute flight from Barcelona to Casablanca, 2 days in Madrid, and then on the way back we spent another 2 days in Barcelona. And then I became an engineer and barely had any time off to travel, but I still squeezed it in there, don't worry. At the time I was traveling a lot in the US. I finally got my 2 weeks off and I traveled by myself, my other solo trip to Africa. Oh my god, I didn't scratch this one. Yay, I get to scratch it. I went to Kenya because I wanted to do a safari so bad, but when I looked online, all the safaris were literally $4,000 and more. But I was like, I don't care, I'm not gonna let that get in the way. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find a cheap safari. And after hours and hours and hours of searching, I found a safari for like around less than $200 that were in, it's the same park, the same animals, and other people were in their safari car that paid $4,000, $5,000 while I paid less than $200. And if you guys want, I'll make a video on how I found that really cheap safari. And if you guys ever go to Kenya, definitely go to a Maasai village. I think I paid around $20 extra, and that money goes to the village. It helps them build a school, helps them with a lot of things, and you get to learn so much amazing knowledge and culture. One thing that I always do, which is try to kill one bird. Why do I always have trouble with this saying? 2 birds with 1 stone. So when I am in a country, sometimes I'm like, oh my god, next door is this amazing other country and I'm already here. So I give myself a few days extra in that country. That way in case I find cheap flights to the surrounding countries. So this is what I did. When I was in Kenya, I discovered Zanzibar. So Zanzibar is a beautiful island. I've been to a lot of islands in my life, and I can hands down tell you, whenever people ask me what's your favorite island in terms of beaches, it's always Zanzibar. It's my favorite. And Zanzibar is a beautiful island in Tanzania. So I was like, oh my god, the flight is only 1 hour. I think it was around $200 or something. Flew this whole route, might as well go. And I'm so thankful. At the time I was kind of worried because I'm like, I'm pushing it the money wise, like come on Sarah, like you gotta be responsible. But I'm glad I made that choice because honestly, money comes and goes, but the memories really do stay with us. And I'm so happy and grateful that I ended up going. I'll just scratch off the country, which is Tanzania. Some people say Tanzania, and I say Tanzania for some reason. Which one is the proper pronunciation? Please let me know down there. Then one of the winters, me and my best friend went to beautiful Iceland, and Iceland is actually an island. It's all the way up here. I know you guys probably already know that, but I just thought it was a country. I didn't think it was actually like an island. I know I'm kind of slow sometimes, but don't judge me. But it's beautiful. It is the island of fire and ice because it has literally volcanoes and it has ice. We went there in the winter time because we wanted to see the northern lights, the northern aurora lights, and we got to see them. So that was so magical. I can't explain it. You can see all the stars. It was pitch black. We couldn't even see each other. Like me and my friends couldn't even see each other. We met these girls from our hostel that turned out to be professional photographers. So we were so happy that we got to see the northern lights with them because they helped us with our settings with our camera, and we got to capture the beautiful northern lights. We also wanted to do ice cave tour, and you could only do that during the winter time. The only downside with the winter time in Iceland is that they only have 4 hours of daylight and the other 20 hours is basically dark, so that's not fun. Oh, and let's not forget about the beautiful blue lagoon. That was amazing. And then I went to Jamaica for one of my friend's birthdays. My friend Ala, actually the girl who got me this, yeah, she had her and her fiance at the time. Now they're married. They have the same exact birthday and they celebrated in Jamaica, and so we did a girls trip plus her fiance, and it was so beautiful. We went to Ochos Rios, got to swim with dolphins. I actually really love Jamaica. I thought it was gonna be okay because a lot of people go there. I was surprised. Jamaica is freaking beautiful. Water's beautiful, the food's amazing, the people are amazing. A few months later, I went to Antigua and Barbuda, especially Antigua because there was a hurricane that passed by, and so Barbuda was like completely damaged, and for some reason it missed Antigua. And like I said, this is when the real travel starts. So I'm gonna keep saying a few months. I don't know the exact dates. But Antigua is somewhere here in the islands, the Bahamas. I don't even know because they're literally so small. Oops, I scratched off the wrong place. I went on my very first trip to Asia, and it was to Japan, Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo. And that was just amazing. I loved Tokyo so much. It was beautiful. The food was amazing. Like, best sushi I've had in my life. It was so good. Got to see the busiest street in the world. I mean, the fashion in Tokyo was just out of this world. And then from Japan, I flew into the beautiful island country of the Philippines. If you guys didn't know, Philippines consists of 7,000 islands. I spent exactly 1 month in the Philippines, and it was one of the best times, hands down, of my life. The Philippines is right here. I also got my very first tribal tattoo, and it was done by Wang Oud. If you guys don't know who Wang Oud is, she's 102, 103 at the time, so she's probably 104 now. Tattoo artist. She's the last living of her kind from her village. It's somewhere up in the mountains, and every island is so different. Some of them have beautiful waters, some of them have such chill vibes, like Port Barton is such a chill vibe area, like location. Some of them have amazing waterfalls, and then there's the cities. If you want cities like Cebu City or Manila, whatever you want, everything's available in the Philippines. But most importantly, the people and the friendly faces. I just cannot find a better place. This makes me really miss the Philippines. I wish I could go back soon. So fast forward to summer of 2019. This was the past year, and this was a really busy year for me for travels because I left my civil engineering job and I had all the free time in the world. Actually, after I quit my job, I went to Japan, and that's how I get to spend 1 month in the Philippines because I'm not working anymore, so I can stay for as long as I want. I was going to Ethiopia for my friend's wedding. It was my very first time in Ethiopia. I was so happy to be back in Africa, and I booked 1 month in Ethiopia because I was thinking I'll stay there. Her wedding is 1 week because according to their traditions, they have a week wedding. It was so amazing. The second week, I'll travel around the country, and then the other 2 weeks, I would love to go back to Kenya and Zanzibar, probably stay in Zanzibar. But I fell in love with Ethiopia. I loved Ethiopia so much that I ended up staying for the whole month, and it wasn't enough. And it's literally a country that I know I will go back to for sure. The way the nature changes, like one area had these special beautiful trees, and it was all over the area. And then we went to a different region, and there was hot springs and waterfalls. And then I went to the hottest and the deepest place on earth, and that's the Danakil Depression desert in Ethiopia. And there's just so much, the mountains, the nature, everything, the people, the food is so delicious. I love Ethiopian food, the dances, the music, the people. I absolutely fell in love with Ethiopia. I've never felt so much connected to, I don't know what it is. There's an energy there, and a lot of scientists say it is the origin of life, where we originated from. There was a Rastafarian land there that belongs to Rastafarians from all over the world, and this is where Bob Marley wanted to be laid to rest. And then from there, I went to London. The flights from London to Ethiopia were fairly cheap, and so I had a stopover there on the way to Ethiopia, but it wasn't that long. But on the way back, I stayed for a couple of days. While I was in the UK, my cousin that is currently living in Paris was like, you have to come visit. So I was like, hey, why not? I don't have a job. I don't have a flight back yet. and I found a super cheap deal where it was cheaper for me to fly to Paris than it is to stay an extra day in London because of the cost of accommodation, transportation in London. It's so expensive over there. So I was like, you know what, instead of spending one more night that's gonna cost me more money, let me fly to Paris and I get to stay with my family. Paris was amazing. I spent 1 week in Paris and I fell in love with it. Again, I was surprised because and a lot of places that you hear people go to a lot, I don't have that much interest in because I feel like whatever, like everybody goes there, it's probably ruined by now. But so I had such low expectations for Paris that when I went there, I actually loved it. And maybe because I was living like the local, I was doing the local stuff because I got to stay with my cousins, and we did the touristy stuff like the Eiffel Tower like one of the days, and then after that we just did like all the local stuff. So I absolutely love the local Paris living. That summer I went for my best friend's wedding in Beirut, Lebanon, and that was beautiful. Where's Lebanon? Okay, that's another one that I couldn't find because it's tiny on the map. I spent 3 weeks in Lebanon, absolutely fell in love with it. Everything is there if you're looking for nightlife, beaches, go there in the summer, the food, the people are so funny, so absolutely loved Lebanon. I actually missed my flight back to the US on purpose because I was like, I have to go to Jordan. I wanted to visit Petra, the lost city of Petra, for the longest time. It's always been on my list. And so I remember I was in the Philippines when I posted something on Instagram about wanting to visit Petra so bad. And so I was like, you know what, the flight is only 1 hour. I found a good deal again and I went there for 2 days. Loved Jordan. I got to swim in the beautiful Dead Sea, use their mud. I got to go to Petra, the lost city of Petra, and that was so magical. And Turkey, Istanbul. Actually, this was my second time going to Turkey. I stayed a full day in Istanbul before this, and then I went back, and this is where I got this hair color. I got it done in Turkey, and then from there I flew to Lagos, Nigeria, back to West Africa for my friend's wedding. Again, it were all 3 weddings in a row: Ethiopia, Lebanon, Nigeria. And it was Allah's wedding, the same girl who got me the map. I was so excited. I'm so happy that I went. Energy in Nigeria, I'm telling you guys, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that creative, beautiful energy. No wonder why they're taking over when it comes to the music industry. And because we were there for a wedding, on our second week we got to fly into her town, the River State, which is the southern part of Nigeria, and we got to dress up in her traditional clothing for her traditional wedding, and we got to experience the whole culture. It was amazing, plus the regular white wedding. So I definitely love Nigeria. I cannot wait to come back. I made so many amazing friends. I love you guys all. If you guys are watching this, and I just cannot wait to go back, and I've learned some Nigerian dishes that I've been cooking, by the way. And recently I just came back from a trip in Tunisia. I was there again for another wedding, and while I was there, somebody else invited me to their wedding. It's gonna be in Jamaica, and all these people I met in the US, but for some reason I'm friends with a lot of foreign people because I just love to travel and I feel like I connect with them really well, and they all have their weddings in their home countries. So I love that because I'm like, yes, invite me, and they're all really good friends of mine, so I couldn't miss any of their weddings. It's not like a regular friend or whatever. So anyways, when I was in Tunisia for a beautiful wedding, it was my very first time in Tunisia. I didn't know what to expect. I know it's very close to Morocco in terms of culture as well, because Tunisia, Morocco, and Algeria used to be one country back in the days. But I was very surprised. It's still very different, and I loved it so much. The people there are so sweet, so polite, so nice. Sidi Bou Said was beautiful. I mean, oh my god, it was all blue in the ocean. The food there was amazing, so I loved it. And then from Tunisia, I flew into Egypt. Again, I wasn't planning on going to Egypt, but I was like, you know what? Let me just look at the flights. I found a good flight. It was very close to Tunisia, so I was like, I have to go to Egypt. I always wanted to go to Egypt. So I went to Egypt specifically for diving because I heard the Red Sea is amazing for diving. I went diving in the Red Sea. And of course, since it's my first time, before going south to the Red Sea, I got to visit the beautiful, beautiful pyramids. So that was a dream come true. And actually, I just came back a few weeks ago. Alright, so I hope that you guys enjoyed my scratching map video, enjoyed all my stories and rambling. My little gray hair showed up, but just ignore that. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, please don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Write me your comments down below on some of your memorable travel experiences. I would love to get to know you guys more, just as you guys are getting to know me better, you know, so we can have a decent relationship. It's not a one-way relationship, you know what I mean? So anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. And if you want to know how I got started on solo traveling and my accidental first time solo travel trip, please don't forget to check out my last video. Bye!